Hey everyone, this is David Jameson coming live to you from ProPride Industries, the home of the 3P ProPride Hitch. And we have a good one for you today. You're not going to believe it, but I'm getting, let's see, are we not seeing it? Hold on, we're checking technical difficulties here, everyone. Hold on there. Yes, it is working. All right. We can just splice that off the front, can't we? Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm sitting here today. Again, this is David Jameson coming to you live from the home of the 3P Hitch ProPride Industries. And I'm sitting here with Lazar Asufi, who is actually our Facebook expert. But as I've referred to as my production crew, he's it. So right now he's sitting next to me because we're going to be showing you some web pages today, and like I mentioned, we have a big surprise for you. We are going to pull Sean Woodruff out of his bear den, and he is going to come in today and he's going to be discussing the difference between the conventional friction design and the pivot point projection design, which I'm actually looking forward to this. So anyway, let's get started here. Don't forget that first Wednesday of March is our $1,000 raffle spending spree here at ProPride. And what you need to do to enter this raffle is like, share, and comment on this episode. So that's pretty easy. You can say that Dave looked pretty dapper today. That's all you need to say on the comment. See, look at it. I got a lot. He's like my Ed McMahon. See, I think our audience might be of the age they know who Ed McMahon is or was. You don't? Do you know who Ed McMahon is?
I do not know.
No. So anyway, I'll bet you. Anyway, and also do not forget about our 60-day no-risk money-back guarantee on the purchase of the 3P Hitch. What that means is that if you purchase and for any reason within 60 days of your installation you want to return it, we will not only reimburse you 100% for the hitch and the shipping, we will pay to get it back, because guess what? We have people standing in line ready to buy them. So that's fine. If you don't want it, send it back. We've got plenty of people that want them. And then also, for those of you that are thinking of buying a 3P Hitch, we do have financing available. Not a lot of people know that, because they haven't gone to the checkout, they haven't gone to the cart yet. But we do have financing, and that's the kind of stuff I work on here. We're actually going to be adding new financing options very shortly. So it's exciting stuff here at ProPride, and we're happy to share it with you. So today we are in our conference room, and we'll start digging into what we're going to accomplish here in the conference room. But first, remember, I've got a couple of announcements. The Brute, our drop hitch, will be ready for pre-order probably earlier than March. In the last couple of episodes, I said that we would be ready to take pre-orders by March, but I think we might be in a couple of weeks, but I'll get back with you on that. Look for more information regarding our Brute drop hitch. And then also, if you're getting ready for this upcoming summer, check out ProPride Marine. That's our sister company. That's our sister site. You can get all your boating supplies, your marine supplies there. And it's actually, you're going to like the design. If you're into websites and all that, go check it out, because it's pretty robust and a pretty neat site. And we can get you pretty much anything you need for your boat. So first off, do we have any questions? Any questions pop up? I know we haven't really started, but want to make sure.
No questions yet. No questions just yet. No questions yet. No.
No questions yet. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and comment to enter our $1,000 raffle, which gives you, or a spending spree of $1,000, and that's what we're raffling off here at ProPride. So today's review, last couple weeks, we did show a couple of vlogs, a couple of videos. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually go to our review page. You won't be able to see Lazar and I right now, but you'll be able to hear us. So we're going to flip over to that. We're going to talk, hold on, well, go ahead. Well, we're back. Look at how good these guys are. I mean, my God. So we are going to go over the review page, and then we are going to get Mr. Woodruff out of his bear den, and we're going to go over the good stuff. Not that the reviews aren't good. So let's take a look at that now, Lazar. And before we get going, for those of you that like to enter our raffle, if you share our review page or the friction versus pivot point page that we're going to go over later in a group and screenshot it and get it to Jessica, she will post her email address, screenshot it, get it to her. You'll get 3 entries. You get an extra entry. And the reason why we're doing this is very, very selfish, because we want you guys to share our reviews. And we also want people that are using friction, I want to make sure I say it right, conventional friction design type hitches, learn about this, because people that have not experienced sway or that white knuckle feeling, we don't want them to have to go through that before they learn about the benefits of the 3P. So here we are, Lazar. So you were somewhat instrumental in helping design this. Tell me what sticks out to you.
The thing that obviously sticks out right at the beginning is the amount of, and it might sound selfish to say this, but the amount of 5-star reviews we have.
I've read that we have like 4,000, 5,000. Do you know how many it is?
I know we have, I believe we have more than 1,000, that's for sure, a couple thousand. We have, right here it shows Trustpilot, we have 722 reviews on Trustpilot, and it's an excellent rating. So you can actually scroll through this and see quite a bit of reviews that we've had. Another thing I like about this page, though, is we got some friends on YouTube that obviously think very highly of the 3P.
So who's this guy here wearing the hard hat? Is he?
He actually, that guy is in the video, but he is not a part of that YouTube channel. Now, the ones here at the top, so that I can actually go up here real quick and show you guys. The people are embracing detours right here.
Okay, embracing detours. Okay, so that was one of their vlogs. Can you go back up to the top?
Yeah.
So let's tell everyone where this page is located. Go all the way to the top. So this is under our store, and then you'll click on ProPride reviews. Can you move the mouse around to show them? Here. I think Lazar should be able to do that right there. So you click on that. Check out our reviews, and you guys share this page, and you get 3 entries. But let's start taking a look at this. So what do we have here? We have the smartest customers. What do our customers think? And this is a little saying that we have around here. All smart hitch research leads to ProPride. And I don't want to speak for Sean, but basically I've overheard him say it so many times that when you start digging into how sway is basically expected with a ball hitch, when you start doing research, you're going to keep digging further and further, and you're going to end up at ProPride. And that's even how Lazar ended up here at ProPride. He was digging and digging, and anyway, I ended up with Sean. So anyway, 60-day no risk guarantee, buy now, pay later, made in the USA. Go down, scroll down there a little bit. So there's YouTube reviews, the Trustpilot, keep going.
So we got free and simple right here. This is the free and simple little highlight we have on their YouTube channel. We have the Trustpilot, of course, and we have TrustSpot customer experiences. So this is pretty cool because you see everybody who's installed their 3P to their rig, and it just gives you a chance. You can click on them, and it'll send you to that specific review as well.
So the review and a picture of their rig.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what else we got? What else do we have down there?
I'd like to highlight, this is something we don't highlight too much, I think, but it's great. It allows people to, you buy now, you pay later. It gives you cheaper options.
$143 a month for as little as $143 a month, and that's, as Chief Financial Officer, that's what I'm working on, people, is get that down even further so it's even more affordable, because once you know how safe it is to have a 3P, we want to make it available to anyone that's in the RV industry or loves to camp. So what do we got on Google reviews here?
So this kind of dives into our Google reviews, of course. And again, we got another 5-star rating on Google, 81 reviews.
Click on this one by David Drake. This is what we're going to be going over today. It says, used a Blue Ox before this, and while it was good, it was also fussy. On my 30-foot Airstream at full interstate speed on windy days and 18-wheelers all around, there was challenging sway. ProPride is expensive product if it does not okay, it's not, I think what he's saying there, it's not expensive. It's expensive if it doesn't end sway. However, it does end sway, and it's easy to use. Money well spent. And we hear that over and over and over. So thank you to ProPride team, especially Brent. All right, we always make a joke around here that Brent's kind of like the ghostwriter. Yeah, Sean gets all, yeah, he is everywhere.
Brent is absolutely everywhere.
So what else? Anything else you need to show us here?
No, I mean, on the bottom of the page, it just shows, most of our popular items, of course, the 3P, the extension kit, the hitch lap bar with the link locking plate, and then, of course, your 3P hitch cover.
Great.
As well as some more Trustpilot reviews, of course, with this being our main review page.
So if you go back up to the top, everyone, our ProPride family, you can find that under the store tab and ProPride reviews. So that's it, introducing our review page to you. We're going to switch back live to me, and we are going to go dig up Mr. Woodruff. So when he makes his way back in, we will bring up the commercial or the conventional friction. So let's go over to that now.
Perfect.
Now let's make sure this thing is working. Everyone, just so you know, the man has entered the room, Mr. Sean Woodruff, the man behind the Pivot Point. In fact, he's changing. He's going to have 3 middle names now. It's going to be Pivot Point Projection.
3P for short.
Oh, that's for the 3P. Look at that. The chief financial officer didn't even know why. Isn't that something? Okay. So here we are. Now, how do we get to this? Let's scroll back up. So again, we are in the store and we clicked on what? It's on the bottom left, isn't it?
Yeah, it's down in the footer. So down here in the footer, you'll see, if we can get there,
That would be on, yeah, there you go.
Jim Hensley hitch or sway bar friction hitch. So you click on this link, and here we are.
So I'm going to turn this over to Sean because I didn't even know that that's what the 3 and the P meant. So I'm not qualified to talk about this. So here he goes.
Am I supposed to hold this? Or
It's kind of sweaty though because it's so damn hot in this office.
Anyway, okay. So this is just a page we laid out because we get a lot of questions, obviously, about different conventional style hitches. And what you have to remember is, or have to realize is every conventional hitch starts with the same basic design. And that's to allow the trailer to pivot on the hitch ball. When the trailer oscillates on the hitch ball or pivots side to side on the hitch ball, that's the beginning of sway. It just matters. The only thing we're talking about is the amplitude of the pivoting on the hitch ball. So all conventional hitches start at that pivot point. That hitch ball sits a distance behind your rear axle. Then they try to apply a dampening force or a force to damp the sway action. So anytime the trailer starts to pivot, that friction will be applied to the forces of the trailer. The problem with that is we just can't apply enough friction to stop that pivoting. So at some point, the sway forces are going to overcome the actual friction forces that are applied by the hitch.
So just to interject, I couldn't refrain. So if you say that in layman's terms to someone like me that didn't even do very well in algebra, basically what he's saying is that...
See the guy counting money?
Yeah, no, okay. So the friction, what were you saying? It could be applied, but it's not enough.
Right. So we just can't apply a great enough force, a friction force, which is steel on steel in most conventional hitches. You can't apply enough to overcome, let's say, a 6,000-pound trailer pivoting on the ball. That's just too much weight for that friction force. So what happens is the trailer, even when has a conventional sway control hitch with any type of friction applied to the rotation, as soon as that trailer rotates at that pivot point, it's pivoting at a distance behind your rear axle of your tow vehicle. That distance behind the rear axle creates leverage on the rear end of the tow vehicle because that's a lever arm. So it's the old lever that any time you can move the world with a fulcrum and a lever. So the trailer is now trying to turn the tow vehicle, and you have to counter steer to stop the trailer from pointing you into the ditch. When you counter steer, you throw the forces in the opposite direction. Now you got opposite leverage, and that's when everything breaks loose. That's usually
fishtail, like you call fishtail?
That's when it starts fishtailing, and then if you don't know what to do, if you don't react with hitting the trailer brake or speeding up, most people aren't trained to drive themselves out of a sway or to control a sway.
So basically, remember everyone, last week we went over the big truck myth. What Sean is saying right there is it doesn't matter what you're pulling it with, right? Because the design is going to automatically cause this.
The foundation of the entire way a trailer is built is to pivot on the hitch ball. That's how you turn corners. The problem with that is that while you're driving it down the road or while you're pulling it down the road or towing it, it's still going to move around on the hitch ball. And if once it starts moving with a heavier truck, it's got to move an even greater distance for you to feel it. Right. So the heavy truck, the big truck myth is basically by the time you do feel it. I can make an argument that a light truck is actually safer than a heavy truck because people feel it more in a light truck and they slow down. People in a heavy truck don't feel it until it's too late. But anyway, that's a whole other argument. So conventional hitch, applying friction, can never put enough friction on the rotation of the trailer. Once the trailer starts to rotate, that leverages on the tow vehicle, and then you have to steer. It's just, you're walking a fine line. Your depth of control of your combination isn't as great as it should be. Now, getting to the 3P hitch or pivot point projection, our design is completely different. We lock out any rotation on the hitch ball from the trailer side. And if you see this video right here in the middle of the page, that's showing you that any forces on the trailer are locked out. Now, obviously, when you don't let the trailer pivot, that force has to be counteracted somewhere. What the main hitch head of the 3P accomplishes is it projects your pivot point so it's intersecting forward of the hitch ball up by the rear axle. Now, when it intersects by the rear axle, the leverage is off the rear of your truck. So now you don't have the leverage that you got to steer out of, which makes you feel like you're all one solid piece. If you watch this video here, and you can click on it and watch the whole thing on YouTube, but when he pushes side to side on the trailer, when there's a perpendicular force to the trailer applied, notice how right here it's not leveraging the rear end of this tow vehicle. So when he pushes on it, it's completely locked out, and then you'll see it move all as one piece. That's really the magic behind what Jim Hensley put together, was that pivot point isn't leveraging the rear end of the tow vehicle any longer. And a lot of people, the funny thing is a lot of people in the industry will know this when they go buy a fifth wheel. You hear people say, well, I had a travel trailer and I didn't like the way it towed, so I went and bought a fifth wheel. Well, what did they do when they bought a fifth wheel? They changed their pivot point. That's all they did. They still have a trailer. They're still towing a trailer. They may have, picked up some storage or something. That's a whole nother issue. But functionally, or technically what they did is they changed their pivot point because now it's up over the rear axle.
That's what. So they moved it to where the 3P.
Exactly.
Oh, neat. Okay, so scroll down. We're on 1. I think there's 10. So that's the problem. We'll get talking for. Wait, he'll kick it in.
I think I went through all these. So
Did you?
Yeah, you can never put enough friction on the pivoting to stop trailer sway.
Who's that young guy?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Rainwater, dust, any bump in the road, anything that can reduce the friction applied to a friction hitch. So this is the other thing you'll hear in a lot of the groups. Well, my hitch is really loud. It makes a lot of noise. And then all of a sudden you see people come along and say, well, grease it. Well, put some grease on. That's completely wrong. I mean, there's a friction-based company out there that even sells noise reduction on their friction. Well, when you reduce noise, you're reducing friction. You're reducing the functionality of what you bought the hitch for. So you better live with the noise and live with the looks when you pull into a campground, or else you don't have the sway control you think you should.
I think I've heard Brent talk about people being able to hear friction control towers or users pulling into a campground.
Yeah, it screeches like somebody's killing your cat. So the next one, most buyers of the 3P used to own a sway. This is kind of specific to Blue Ox because we get a lot of former Blue Ox owners, but this also applies to Equalizer, Reese Dual Cam, Husky, any number of hitches. But most buyers of the 3P hitch, used to own a friction. 80% of our customers used to own a friction-based hitch, and then they come and find ours and they do their research and then they learn the difference. It's exhausting to drive without pivot point projection. That's just because people are constantly fighting and holding onto their steering wheel and trying to control that trailer from leveraging the tow vehicle.
If you'll notice, they took a picture of my arm for this. right there.
Yeah, I thought that was your arm. The ProPride 3P hitch allows you to utilize a full towing capacity. This is the other thing. A lot of, an F-150, let's say, has 11,000 pounds of towing capacity. Well, when a trailer's leveraging the rear end of an F-150, you're going to be fighting that a lot more than you're going to if you have a pivot point projection hitch not leveraging on the rear end of it. Where do we go? Travel where, a lot of people tell us that now that they have a 3P hitch, they're traveling a lot further. They're seeing sites that they once wanted to see. They're not sticking around home 100 miles per hour, which is a whole nother, or 100 miles around the radius around their house, which is really kind of another myth we should talk about someday. It doesn't matter if you're a mile away from your house or 100 miles or 1,000 miles away from your house. The trailer can still sway if you don't have the right equipment. No need to reduce the speed. That just allows you to travel at highway speeds and not have to slow down so much to control sway. And there's the one we talked about with how loud the 3P, or how loud a friction-based control hitch is.
Well, guys, what do you think about that? I mean, it came from the horse's mouth, not Mr. Hensley, but as close as you can get to Mr. Hensley, Mr. Sean Woodruff. And let's go to Lazard. There's got to be questions. Hold on. No, there might be a question. Let's see. We got any questions for Sean?
Wes answered it. There was a question, but it got answered by Wes.
What was the question?
The question was, let's see, after
Hold on a second here.
After repacking the bearings with grease,
It's maintenance. Okay, good job, Wes. Thanks. But nothing regarding the makeup. Okay, very good. Thank you, Wes, and thank you, Sean.
See ya.
He's gone. He's back in his den.
Back to us.
And just so you know, I did know that the 3P did stand for pivot point projection. I like to be a little, what would that be, cheeky,
Yes.
as they would say. Being an ex-rugby guy, I heard the word cheeky quite often. So anyway, hope you guys liked that. We went over the review page, the comparison page, and at this point, don't forget, if you share either one of those pages in a group, you get 3 entries, which is big, real big. So right now, I'm just going to recap what we did today, and we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. So remember, like, share, comment, and you get an entry into our raffle for a $1,000 spending spree. Don't forget the 60-day money-back guarantee, where we will not only reimburse you for the hitch, the shipping, but also to get the hitch back. Like I said, we have plenty of people that want them. If there's ever a reason after your installation, 60 days, you send it back. We don't even ask questions. We got new financing coming. And don't forget to review us if you have not reviewed us. It's very important to all of us to share information, and new purchasers love to hear from other people, and they especially like it when other people have rigs just like theirs, and they can read a testimonial on it. So anything you want to share with us, please do. I'll check one more time. Any questions?
There is a question for Sean.
There's a question for Sean. Let's hear it.
You mentioned on a forum trying to get the truck back up, the Ford backup trailer assist to work with the 3P lock.
Okay, that might be. You know what? He will answer that in the comments on the page, because to drag him back in here for that. That's very specific. So Sean will get on that right away. So look in the comments, and don't forget that if you do want to have the triple entry in the raffle, to send a screenshot to Jessica, and she will make sure she will mark you down as having 3 entries in the raffle. And that's about it, gents. Do we have anything else that's come in? Okay, well, we are going to sign off. It's been wonderful today. Hopefully you got some real good information out of it, and we will see you next week on Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern. This is David Jameson at ProPride Industries, the home of the 3P hitch. Over and out. See you next week.
Hey, Brian here with ProPride Industries. Let's see if we got it lined up. So he's got a camera, so you can probably do a pretty darn good job. We've got our install complete here. We're all hitched up and we're ready to take off. Beautiful. I'm going to take you for a little bit of a ride.